First of all, the two actions mentioned earlier, one at the level of trade, to try and integrate some of the trade, and the other very important actions is juridical or legal framework, and they're still working at it.
El 80% de nosotros los mexicanos no calificamos para integrarnos a la sociedad más grande y poderosa del mundo en ese sentido, más desarrollada.
80% of Mexican people would not be are not in a condition to integrate with the largest power in the world.
El ejercicio de integración de México a Estados Unidos se inició con el Tratado de Libre Comercio.
The integration, or attempted integration between the United States and Mexico started with the Free Trade Agreement.
Para decirles rápidamente el resultado, les diré lo que dijo el presidente de Nicaragua al señor Calderón hace unas semanas en una visita de Estado oficial. El libre comercio no ha dado resultado porque no ha podido detener la inmigración.
To give you an idea of what was accomplished by this free trade agreement, perhaps I could use the words of the president of Nicaragua, who was in a state visit, a government visit to Mexico a few weeks ago, and who said the free trade agreement didn't work, it didn't stop immigration, did it? He said that to President Calderón.
En efecto, los dos últimos gobiernos derechistas de México han tratado de resolver el problema migratorio en su concepción derechista. Es decir, ellos han tratado de que Estados Unidos acepte firmar con ellos un acuerdo migratorio que algún canciller un poco fuera de su función describió como un tratado completo al que le llamaba the whole enchilada.
I couldn't hear that one from here. So the last two right-wing governments of Mexico have attempted to deal with the immigration situation by doing a treaty with the United States, which is what is referred to as the whole enchilada.
The whole enchilada was a concept that includes visas for everybody in the United States, every Mexican in the United States. That means fixing the juridical problem for them, and also visas for everyone who wants to go to the United States, and also money from the United States to invest in Mexico so the people don't have to go outside. That was the concept. The retribution was security in the borders. As you can imagine, that thing never works. That was something fantastic, out of every reality. But let me tell you that an ambassador of the United States in Mexico, Mr. Davidoff, wrote a book after his mission. After his mission. And he told us that the meeting that both presidents, President Fox and President Bush, had at the beginning of their mandates in the year 2001, both presidents talked about this agreement, but the ambassador says in his book, but both were ingenious, naive, both of them, because any one of them knew in that moment the limits of their power. And these kind of problems are not problems that can be solved by the word of a president. Needs more things to do about that. Well, at the end, the answer of the United States to this problem of immigration was to build a wall in the border. That could be the end of the problem, probably for the United States, but of course not for Mexico. In Mexico we have a difficult situation in which the economic model relies on the fact that the Mexicans go to the United States to work because they have salaries 10 times bigger. And the foreign investment in Mexico goes to Mexico because they pay salaries 10 times lower than what they have to pay in their country. So that formula is a problem for us. Well, in that situation, in which if the government of the United States continues with its plans that from the Mexican deal after the 11th of September tragedy, the United States starts its military effort outside and also inside a military police effort to profound the character of a police state of the United States. And they are translating that to Mexico with the help of President Calderon. So that explains the wall. The wall on the border means that people who find a way for solve their family problem, we have to do something else. People in Mexico have 4 choices in this policy, neoliberal policy of the 10 times salary, more or less. The first one was to go to the United States and work there. The second is to find a place in the informal economy of the country. The third one is for a small amount of people, but with a very important effect, to work in the narco traffic, in the delinquency in general, and that's a very, very terrible problem in Mexico. And for most of them, the usual solution in the underdeveloped world, in the world of the poor people, is to distribute the misery in the family. And that's what we in Mexico do as the rest of the poor people in the world. So, we have a revolution, and we have a war, and the people that go to the United States are going to stay in Mexico. So the political pressure, the social pressure will be more than before. And if the United States made its pretend reform for the people who are already in the United States, they are going to make a regulation of those that they cannot make a regulation to those that they can, but to those that they cannot, they are going to send back to Mexico. And this is people that already have other salaries. It will be very difficult for them to find a place in the Mexican economy.